bored, basically, this movie. I didn't like the movie. I was like hiding in the theater, at the Chinese theater.
Born on October 18, 1960, in Berchem-Saint-Agathe, near Bruxelles, Jean-Claude Camille François Van Varenberg grew up in a modest home filled with his mother's flowers, his father's quiet discipline, and the companionship of his sister, Veronique. Yet beneath that peaceful surface lived a shy, slender boy with thick glasses who struggled with confidence and endured the sting of teasing that cut deeper than he ever let show. At 11, staring into a mirror that reflected a body too frail for his hopes, he made a silent promise to transform his life. And with his father's guidance, he stepped into a karate dojo under Master Claude Getz, embracing discipline with a devotion that reshaped him mentally and physically, eventually earning a black belt at 18, joining Belgium's national karate team, studying ballet for 5 demanding years to build balance and grace, and adding bodybuilding to forge strength, proving that behind every legend is a child who dared to believe change was possible. The leap toward the impossible dream. In 1982, carrying about $3,000 and a dream that felt heavier than his luggage, Jean-Claude left Belgium for the United States with his friend Michel Kissy, entering a world where his accent, hunger, and loneliness weighed as much as any opponent he would ever face, sleeping in cars when money ran short, taking small jobs from delivering pizzas to driving limousines, stretching every morning as if his future depended on it, and walking into audition after audition, only to hear rejection spoken in polite tones or hidden behind curious glances at his broken English. Yet despite all this, he held on to a belief that one day a door would open, and that faith, more than muscles or martial skill, carried him across the hardest years of his life until minor stunt work, background roles, and a few small appearances began building the bridge toward destiny. When the world finally looked his way. In 1988, after years spent fighting invisibility, Jean-Claude Van Damme exploded onto cinema screens worldwide with Bloodsport, a low-budget martial arts film that unexpectedly transformed him from an unknown immigrant into a global sensation, and as audiences watched him portray Frank Dux, a man fighting not just opponents but limits, they were seeing the echo of his own journey from hunger and hardship to possibility. A success followed by an astonishing run of hits such as Kickboxer, Lionheart, Double Impact, and Universal Soldier, each film amplifying his blend of athletic precision, charisma, and emotional sincerity, culminating with Time Cop, a blockbuster that proved he was not only an action hero, but a leading man with depth, and even inspiring video game icons like Johnny Cage, cementing the muscles from Brussels as a defining force in action cinema's golden era. The cost of stardom. As fame accelerated, Jean-Claude's schedule became a whirlwind of flights, training, scenes, premieres, and interviews, a pace so demanding that personal life struggled to keep hold of him, and the emotional weight of constant work made maintaining relationships difficult. Marriages strained under long absences, stress, and the pressure of living inside a global spotlight, and though he achieved extraordinary professional success, commanding some of the highest salaries of the 1990s, he often found himself wrestling with the reality that the pursuit of his dream had created distance at home, leaving him grappling with regrets and lessons that fame alone could not ease, teaching him that while ambition can build an empire, it must be balanced with presence, humility, and care for the people who stand quietly behind the scenes. Love, loss, and lessons. Throughout his life, Jean-Claude entered relationships with the hope of building something lasting, and though several marriages ended in heartbreak, each one reflected a sincere desire to find stability amid the chaos of rising fame. With his early unions strained by relocation, long work stretches, and the emotional turbulence that often follows sudden success. With Gladys Portuguese, he experienced both the joy of raising 2 children and the difficulties that fame and personal pressures can bring. And, although they divorced once in the early 1990s and later separated again, their bond continually found its way back to forgiveness and renewed commitment, ultimately showing that love can withstand storms when both sides choose healing and growth over resentment. And his reflections on fatherhood reveal a man who cherishes family deeply and strives continually to be better. The invisible battles. During the height of his career, Jean-Claude privately struggled with mental health challenges that were eventually diagnosed as bipolar disorder, a revelation that helped him understand years of emotional highs, sleepless energy, and difficult lows that often collided with the pressures of celebrity life. Acknowledging these struggles publicly became a turning point, allowing him to seek appropriate treatment, adopt healthier routines, and re-embrace the disciplined training that had shaped his youth. And his honesty has since resonated with countless fans who saw in him not an untouchable icon, but a human being with vulnerabilities, proving that even those who appear strongest can carry silent battles, and that facing them with courage is a profound form of strength. Finding his way back. The late 1990s and early 2000s forced Jean-Claude to rebuild not his physique, but his sense of self, turning again to martial arts, daily exercise, meditation, and professional guidance to regain equilibrium and clarity, replacing chaos with structure and rediscovering the quiet confidence that had fueled his early rise. Through dedication and support from loved ones, he regained stability, reconnected with his family, and rediscovered purpose, showing that resilience is not measured by how hard one falls, but by the willingness to rise, heal, and grow. And with time, his creativity re-emerged, allowing him to return to the screen, not as a myth, but as a man who had survived and matured. A reinvention on screen. In 2008, the film JCVD revealed to the world a Jean-Claude unlike any they had seen before, offering a raw, introspective performance that blurred the line between actor and human being, culminating in a monologue that stripped away the legend and exposed the vulnerable, reflective soul beneath, earning praise from critics who saw it as a brave artistic rebirth. He continued rebuilding his legacy through powerful roles in Universal Soldier, Regeneration, Day of Reckoning, and his charismatic turn as the antagonist in The Expendables 2, and even embraced self-parody in Jean-Claude Van Johnson, showing maturity, humor, and humility, while viral moments like the Volvo truck split reminded the world that time could not dim his unique blend of grace and strength. The quiet life of a warrior. Today, Jean-Claude Van Damme lives a calmer, more balanced life at 63, maintaining homes in Los Angeles, Brussels, and Hong Kong, spaces that represent stability, roots, and reflection, and his estimated fortune, built through decades of films and international success, stands not as a symbol of extravagance, but as a testament to perseverance. He continues to train daily with the same discipline that shaped him as a boy, focusing on flexibility, strength, meditation, and clean living, maintaining mental health treatment, and embracing routines that nurture peace over adrenaline while cherishing his family, especially his reconciliation with Gladys Portugues, proving that love strengthened by forgiveness can become a safe harbor after years of storms. Legacy of the Muscles from Brussels. Jean-Claude's true legacy extends far beyond box office numbers or martial arts choreography, living instead in the millions who grew up inspired by his determination, in the athletes who mimicked his kicks, in the artists who found courage in his vulnerability, and in the people who saw in his story the reminder that strength is forged not from perfection, but from resilience. Statues honoring him in various cities reflect not just admiration for an action star, but gratitude for a man who turned hardship into hope. And though his body bears the marks of time and decades of performance, the fire in his spirit remains, showing that legends do not fade. They evolve, deepen, and continue giving light long after their brightest spotlight has passed.